Episode 7, The Replenishment Timing Deal. It was 2 a.m. when the replenishment crew started their rounds. A few tired eyes under harsh fluorescent lights, forklifts weaving slow patterns across the floor. Nobody applauds when stock gets moved from bulk storage to pick face. But this was the hour that decided whether orders would flow or stall out by sunrise.
Replenishment timing. Most folks think it's a line item in the SOP binder, something you can fudge when the night runs long. But it's not. It's the covenant that keeps the whole operation from unraveling before the day even starts.
What is replenishment timing? It's the discipline of moving inventory from reserve slots into active picking locations at exactly the right moment. Not when you remember, not when it's convenient, but before the picker reaches for it and comes up empty-handed. Some think timing just means moving faster. But it's more than that. It's the art of anticipation, the commitment to stay ahead of demand, even when nobody notices, because when they do notice, it's already too late.
I remember a parts distributor downstate. They ran 2 shifts, receiving in the morning, picking in the afternoon. Replenishment was supposed to happen overnight. But the team was short-staffed, so they did it when they could. That meant pickers spent their first hour of every day chasing down pallets instead of filling orders.
The warehouse smelled of stale coffee and blame. Everyone knew the process was broken, but nobody wanted to own it. So they called it flexibility, as if that made the missed shipments any easier to explain. Why does this matter? Because replenishment timing is the link between inventory on paper and inventory in hand. You can have perfect counts and beautiful slotting, but if your replenishments aren't done before the picking starts, all you're left with is excuses.
Missed replenishments turn pickers into idle bystanders. They can't do their jobs, so they get frustrated. Supervisors scramble to fix shortages, so they get distracted. And managers start making promises they can't keep.
What's the impact? Start with productivity. Every time a picker stops to flag down a forklift, the line slows. Then comes accuracy. When the pick face is empty, substitutions creep in. And then morale, because nothing demoralizes a team faster than being blamed for late orders they had no way to fill.
I once audited a fulfillment center where replenishment was treated as optional. The night crew picked whatever pallets were closest, regardless of urgency. Some days, the high-turn SKUs got skipped entirely. By noon, picking lanes were bare, and the team spent hours hunting down product that should have been waiting. They called it controlled chaos. I called it negligence.
Over time, that chaos cost them 6 figures in overtime and customer credits. But the bigger loss was credibility, because the customers stopped believing delivery dates. Sales reps stopped making firm promises, and management stopped trusting their own numbers. I remember another operation, an industrial supply warehouse with a different problem. Their replenishment team was well-staffed, but nobody tracked priorities, so they treated every SKU the same. A slow-moving bolt got the same attention as the best-selling drill bit. By the time they realized what it was costing them, the backlog had doubled, and the overtime budget was already blown.
Replenishment timing isn't about moving everything faster. It's about moving the right things first. It's the discipline to know what matters most, and the will to act on that knowledge every single night.
Some managers think replenishment is a planning problem. Forecast demand, schedule moves, and that's part of it. But I've seen perfect plans fail because nobody enforced the timing. Because the crew thought being close enough was good enough.
Here's the secret. The hour you lose at 3 a.m. costs you 10 more before the day is out. Because every picker waiting for a replenishment is time you can never get back.
I once worked with a beverage distributor that finally made a change. They set clear cutoffs for replenishment completion, 6 a.m., no exceptions. They posted dashboards on the wall so everyone could see progress. And they started tracking compliance, not just volume.
Within 2 months, they cut picking delays by 80%. It wasn't about working harder, it was about working when it mattered.
The riddle is simple. How do you balance speed and precision, urgency and thoroughness? Because the trucks don't stop rolling, the clock doesn't stop ticking, and somewhere in the middle of all that pressure, you have to find the discipline to get it right.
Replenishment timing is about respect. Respect for the picker who shows up ready to work. Respect for the customer whose expectations you promise to meet. Respect for your own reputation.
People want to believe technology will fix this. RF scanners, WMS dashboards, predictive algorithms. But technology is only a mirror. It shows you the truth, but it can't force you to act.
The question isn't whether you have the tools. It's whether you have the will. Because all the software in the world won't save you if your culture tolerates good enough.
Replenishment timing isn't glamorous. You won't see it on the cover of a trade magazine. But it's the difference between an operation that runs and an operation that limps.
I've watched companies turn their performance around without spending a dime, just by treating this discipline as non-negotiable. No fancy consultants. No reorgs. Just the simple decision to hold the line.
The ledger records every missed commitment, every hour you didn't plan, every pallet you didn't move when you should have, and over time, those moments become your story.
Make it a story you're proud of. Because the day you stop caring about replenishment timing is the day your credibility starts to expire.
Reflection prompts. 1. How often are replenishments completed before picking shifts begin? 2. Who monitors replenishment compliance? And what happens when timing slips? 3. What would change if your team treated replenishment timing as sacred instead of negotiable?